The 8th and final stop in the World Cup Tour, they move to the legendary track in Moritz, Switzerland. First event of the week, it's women's skeleton. Valentina Margaglia, she is 6th in World Cup points. She had a crash at Altenburg earlier in the year with no points, or else she'd be challenging for a top 3. And on this day, though, the young Italian who posts the best start time of the competition. This is a rising star for Italy in the sport of skeleton. Keep your eyes on her. She finishes no worse than 6th in this race. Next up, Mimi Raniva from Calgary. She was flying and training all week long. End of the first heat, though, she found herself back in 5th place. But on this day, Ravina, she has a great bottom half of the track. Best speed, 80 miles an hour plus. She has the best time, but she's got to wait 3 more sleds to go. Janine Flock from Austria, 4th in World Cup points. This is the European Championships, so she knows there's a spot here for her too. She gives away a lot of time at the start, Flock does, but she is very good on the bottom part of the track, especially a speed track like this. But coming down, she could not find the speed to match the Canadian, and she, even though she had the best speed at the bottom, she drops 1 spot. Mimi Raniva, she works into at least a bronze medal position. Here's the story of the day. Kimberly Boss from the Netherlands. If she gets to the bottom, she wins the overall World Cup season title. And she has a chance to win the European title. Historic season for this young Dutch athlete. The Dutch, they win World Cup titles in speed skating, World Olympic medals in speed skating, but never in skeleton. And on this day, Kimberly Boss, a World Cup season winner, and a world and the European champion also. Here's another story. Jacqueline Narracott, Australia. Australia's never won a medal in skeleton. She's never won a medal, of course. Never finished better than a 7th. And on this day, after really good training runs all week, Narracott shocks the skeleton world. She walks away with the gold medal. What a day for skeleton. Jacqueline Narracott from Australia wins. Kimberly Boss in 2nd. The event also doubles up as the European Championships, so Kimberly Boss wins that title. Wow, what a historic day here in St. Moritz. Kimberly Boss wins the World Cup title. Janine Flock in 2nd. Nikita in 3rd. What a day here in St. Moritz. Kimberly Boss, the World Cup season winner. Second event of the weekend in St. Moritz, the World Cup final in men's skeleton. Nikita Tragobov, this young Russian, was 4th in World Cup points coming into the event, 5th at the end of the first heat. Tragobov was medal on this track before. And the young Russian, who's had a very consistent season, never on the podium though, but he's still around the podium. He could be dangerous at the Olympics. He ended up 4th in World Cup points. Next up, Axel Young. Axel Young needs a good finish here to have a chance to challenge for the World Cup title. He needs to post a good time and get to the bottom and hope that someone else in front of him falters. He has to beat Tragobov at least here, which he ties him to the 100th of a second. Axel Young is still alive in the World Cup title hopes. Now it's Alexander Gassner, another German. He has not medaled the whole season on the World Cup Tour, but he's still 7th in World Cup points. But on this day, Gassner looking for his first World Cup medal, and he's got a tie down below. Can he hold on and win his first medal of the year? Yes, by 2/10. Alexander Gassner on the podium. Now Christopher Groth here. He needs to win and hopes that Groth at Dukar stumbles and finishes 5 places behind him to win the World Cup title. But he needs to at least be ahead here. On the bottom part of the track, cannot hold his time. Across the finish line, he drops 1 spot. He can do no worse than a bronze or a silver medal in this race, most likely a bronze. Here comes Superman. He's won World Cup titles, World Championship titles, and on this day, in the second half of the season, no one can touch Martins Dukars. He wins going away on the historic track in St. Moritz. He finished the season up with 1, 2, 1, 1, the last 4 races. This is also the European Championship, so Dukars wins that too. The legend grows with Martin's Go-Karts. Just another day at the Skeleton office. Here's the World Cup title. What about the greatest of all time? Third event of the weekend here in St. Moritz, the World Cup final in women's monobob. This is also the European Championships. Mariana Yarmanka, the Olympic champion in two-person bob in 2018, has had a soft season in monobob. So she's looking to post one of her best results of the year. Fifth, flies down the track, doesn't get great start times, but the Olympic champion shows she can drive. She's the leader. Coach Rennie Spies likes it. Next up, another German, Laura Nolte. She's looking for the European Championship title, but she's also got an outside chance of winning the World Cup title. Alana Myers-Taylor coming up will determine that. On the bottom part of the track, though, Nolte can't hold her time. And as she comes into the finish, second best speed, she loses by 1/100th of a second to her teammate Yarmanka. But she's got no worse than fourth in this day. Cynthia Appia, 27 hundredths to work with. This is the breakout athlete of the season, this Canadian athlete from Toronto. Great starts, one of the better athletes in the field. And on St. Moritz, the bottom part of this super speedway where you reach 80 plus miles an hour, she only had the seventh best speed, but she had so much time in the bank, she wins by 200ths. She loves it. Now on to the final two. Alana Myers-Taylor. This is for the World Cup season title. All she has to do is to get to the bottom in the top four, finish, and she'll win the title. But the competitor that this young athlete is, she flies down the track, best speeds. Look at the difference. She's 66 hundredths ahead. Into the finish, she flies to her World Cup title with the track record for the season. Alana Myers-Taylor is the World Cup season title holder. One sled to go, though, for the gold medal here in St. Moritz. It's her teammate, Kaylee Humphreys. Humphreys doesn't get the starts that Myers-Taylor. Red numbers almost all the way down the track. But in Horseshoe, fastest speedway track on the planet, you can fly down here, and that's what this athlete does. Great eyes and hands, pulls away in the bottom, wins by 400ths. Humphreys wins, her teammate Myers-Taylor is in second. Cynthia Appia from Canada in third. But for the European Championships, it's Mariana Yarmanka wins by 100th over Laura Nolte. Fourth event of the weekend on the historic track in St. Moritz, it's two-man bobsled, the World Cup final race. Team Oscar's Keeper Manis has had a bit of a slump, hasn't had too many medals, only one podium this year, but he's got his brakeman back, Minkins, and I think now he's on point. Doesn't come down with the fastest start that he usually gets, but looks like Keeper Manis is tuning himself up for the Olympic Games are only 3 weeks away. He can do no worse than sixth on this day. Next up, Team Gatukovic, this young Russian, second in World Cup points entering this race. He needs to beat Justin Cripps, or Justin Cripps beating him. That'll determine who finishes second in World Cup points. Gatukovic, best start in the first heat, tied his start record in the second heat, didn't have great speed in the bottom, fell at the third best speed, but he's at first, but there's four sleds yet to go. Whether or not he's second or third in World Cup points, we're gonna find out right here. Here's Cripps, Stones. These two guys have been smelling podiums all year. Cripps doesn't get the start time Gatukovic had, but Cripps loves this track, including a four-man victory last season. Here he comes on the bottom. Oh, and he has the best speed, and he finds the perfect speed line on the super speedway in St. Moritz. 105.80, a track record. Cripps delivers when it needed to be delivered. But now it's Lochner. Now Lochner can't win any World Cup top threes, but he can certainly win a silver medal here today. And Johannes gets a good start time here. But makes a mistake up top, and by Horseshoe, the numbers started to turn red. And Cripps, who had a fantastic run to the bottom of the track, Lochner can't match him. He moves, loses one spot. He's going to win a bronze medal. Still in St. Moritz, that's still a great achievement. Oh, here they come, Batman and Robin, Francisco Friedrich, Thorsten Margus. These two won their first world championships together on this track when they were juniors. They won the senior level world championship at 13. They've won every world championship since. The last 3 times out, though, he's gone with Alex Schiller, his other brakeman. So Margus goes with him, still has the best cumulative time of the day. And guess who wins the World Cup title? He wins the event here in St. Moritz. He's won 7 of the 8 races this season. It's also the European Championships. Lochner, Gatukovic get on the podium. But for that guy, Francisco Friedrich, World Cup standing, he wins it again. The 5th event of the weekend in St. Moritz, Sunday morning, it's women's bobsleigh for the World Cup final trophy. Alana Myers-Taylor, Kasia Love, 7th place into the first heat. She's got to move up 2 or 3 spots to have a chance to win the World Cup title. She won the women's monobob title yesterday, but back here in 7th place, she needs to put a good time down to have a chance to win her 2nd consecutive World Cup title of the season. And what'd she do? Track record at the bottom. Brian Scheimer looks on. So she's got a chance. Team Laura Nolte. This is who Alana Myers-Taylor is battling with. She's got to finish within 2 spots of Laura Nolte to win the World Cup title. Nolte knows that she's got to put down a great time and hope some of the sleds in front of her falter so she can get herself 2 or 3 sleds ahead of Alana Myers-Taylor. Wow, she breaks her track record. She gives herself a chance. Nolte can only wait now. Team Kalicki. This is Kalicki and Buchwald's. Well, this young athlete, she's won a couple races so far this year. Doesn't get the great starts. Buchwald, she's the Olympic champion from 2018. They'll be paired at the Olympic Games together. 1100's down at the bottom. And she comes across the finish line, though she has the track record. Out of nowhere, she puts the afterburners on. She's the leader, 2 sleds to go. Okay, Team Yamenka. Now, Yamenka was only 1/100th of a second from the lead after the end of the first heat. And the 2018 Olympic champion. Good lines all the way down the track. The times are close. Exit of Horseshoe. She's 700ths back. Needs to be perfect. Only the 2nd best speed. And it looks like she can't top Kalicki's time. So Kalicki's guaranteed a silver medal. 1 sled to go. Kaylee Humphreys. Sylvia Hoffman. Great start in the first run. Humphreys, who won the women's monobob event yesterday on the track. She's very experienced on this track. She's won here before. Only 500s with the 4th best speed. This is going to be close. Oh, she can't match any one of the Germans' times. Falls 3 places. It's a European championship also. So there's the top 3 Germans that win the European championships also. Kalicki walks away with the last race of the year. But the overall World Cup season winner, there's Kalicki, there's the winner there, and the European Championship. But the overall season title, Alana Myers-Taylor of the United States, she wins for the 2nd day in a row a global trophy. The final race of the year from the historic track in St. Moritz, it's 4-man bobsled. Here's Team Johannes Lochner. He's fighting for a medal. He's got a great chance, but needs to better the time on this long 1,600-meter track. And Johannes Lochner, who has had medals so far this season, and on this day, posts the best time of the heat, he puts himself in position to win a medal. Next up, Team Justin Cripps. Cripps is 2nd in World Cup points. He's had a great season, been on the podium 3 times. Huge lead because of a great start. Cripps, who won the gold medal in 2-man bobsled at the last Olympic Games, was off the podium in 4-man. Maybe this will be his year. And he ties Lochner to the 100th of a second. That gives Cripps no worse than 2nd place in the World Cup points. Next up, Team Christoph Hofer. He was ahead of Lochner and ahead of Cripps. Hofer has had an off-and-off season, 11th in World Cup points. But on this day, 1000s in the bank near the finish. Can he beat Cripps? Yes, he can. He bests both Cripps and Lochner. He moves himself into a medal position. This is the European Championships too. And here comes Team Friedrich. He's won every race in calendar year 21 and 22. On this day, he's got Alexander Roediger in the sled with him. Roediger suffered a serious injury 5 weeks ago, tearing his bicep. He came back for this race. It's a special race for Friedrich, and he breaks the track record. Thank you, Rody, they call him. There he is. What a career he's had. Now, Team Gatukovic, well, this is a breakout star for the Russians. He's had a great season. He's third in World Cup points. He would love to win a medal on the St. Moritz track. And here he goes into Horseshoe. He's got the green numbers. Speed not very good, though. He could fall behind Friedrich, and he does, but he at least guarantees himself a bronze medal in both the European Championships and the event in St. Moritz. Team Oskars Kiebermanis, only one medal all season. Sort of been sleeping. Some of his team has been injured. They have a very slow start time, but very good velocity after the first curve. Kiebermanis flying down the track. The Latvians have done it good on this track. They've won here many times before. And on this day, someone finally beats Francisco Friedrich in a race in 4-man bobsleigh. What a result. The European champion, the event winner here in St. Moritz, Oskar Kiebermanis, makes a statement on the final race of the season in St. Moritz, Switzerland. With that, he also wins the European Championship. That is a big result for this Latvian going into Beijing. Here is the World Cup standings. Francisco Friedrich, as expected, he wins the title. Not for the last time.